I smell McDonald's. Hello YouTube. Okay, this is another test. Alrighty, got the external mic in a different position this time. It's still in my cheek pad, but I raised it up into the middle of the cheek pad, pointing forward, and what I realized is I had the wind diffuser on the front of the Arai profile sort of pointing directly into the microphone, and I think that's why I was getting so much wind noise before. And so I've completely closed that vent. I had trouble closing it before, I don't know why. So I'm gonna get on the freeway, do a little wind noise test, and see what happens. The GoPro does not have a medium field of view in 720p just yet. Waiting on a firmware update. Damn, this light is long. Tell you what. Got my earplugs on, so I can't hear myself too well. And as someone who's hard of hearing, that's kind of important. But I don't think you'll hear anything too weird in my speech. It's just that without good feedback, I tend not to speak as well. Feedback being hearing myself. My tires lately feel really square. I don't know if that's because they actually are square, or what the dealio is. That guy's hauling ass. It's not like I've been doing a lot of commuting or anything, so I don't know what it is. Okay, I need some wind noise so I can take off a little faster. This is pretty much traffic speed, as you can see. And I need this to test. Guess I'm just going to get off here and get some gas. So motovlogging is pretty fun. I'm pretty much a fan. Why do I do it? Well, I like it because I ride anyway, and I have lots of opinions on various subjects. Pretty good opinions, I would say, well researched. And of course I would change my mind in a heartbeat if anyone has a better argument. So I have plenty to talk about. It's not like I'm not opinionated or that I don't have opinions or things to talk about. I'm not one of those people that struggles to find things to talk about. So, crap. This is gonna mess up. It's gonna harsh my buzz. Okay, getting some gas, I smell McDonald's. There's one right across the street. The art of pushing your bike backwards when you're 5'3". That's a lot of fun. Come on, truck. Ain't got all day, what the dilly? My tires are cold, so I'm gonna be taking it easy. Anyway, so What's different about the mic now? Let's see, we have the mic coming out of the cheek pad in the middle spot, a little actually further away from my mouth. The reason I did that, and I had to drill a hole in the foam too. The reason I did that is because I ordered a very small windsock for a lavalier mic. You see that stuff in the road? Noted. Looks like tire tread or a retread. Usually we motorcyclists will indicate such hazards on the road to each other. Point a foot down, point, depending on where it is. Much appreciated. Sometimes I do it for cars. Actually, I always do it for cars if it's a bad enough hazard. Yeah. So here I am talking in a conversational tone. I'm not mumbling or talking to myself, but I'm not shouting. I'm speaking in a comfortably loud voice, normal voice. I think I talk kind of loudly anyway because I'm hard of hearing, and I've always had to, I always like to hear myself. And yeah. So this camera is mounted in a GoPro chin bar mount from GoPro. Actually, it's not the chin bar mount, it's called the helmet mount. Talked about this in another video. Slow down, Mr. Speedy! And it's a really good mount point. I've actually lowered it just a tad so you can see more of the bike and controls and all that, while still keeping a happy medium for the horizon. I should pass the Honda just to piss them off. Sorry, the Hyundai. He is Mr. Speed. One of those frustrated drivers that wants to go twice as fast as he's going, but there's just no way to do it because he's in a car and there's traffic. So the view would change depending on how I sit on my bike. I tend to ride the front more because I'm 5'3", so my arms aren't too long. But if I scooch back, right now I'm scooching way back, you'll see a different view. This is me hunkered down. I got this windscreen pretty light smoke, so you can still see through it. I initially ordered the dark black, or it's called, I forget what it's called, it's opaque black basically. And I was thinking, hey, you know what, if I start vlogging, no way you're going to see through that shield. Plus, I want to see through it. So, there you go. I'm probably going to take this to Rinaldi, because that's a nice place to turn around. You know, if you're going to take the bike out, you might as well take a decently long run. I might just take 14 North, actually. It's a fairly empty freeway. And I can take it back home. I don't know. Okay, I'm just making sure the helmet is fully sealed. Yes, it is. Fully sealed. Long left sweeper. So yeah, my tires have felt a little squarish lately. And I don't think the tires are used up. The turn-in feels weird. Pretty sure it's not my suspension, but it's something I'll look at later. drive like a grandma though when I have slow tires. It's all about risk reward, you know. What are you getting and what are you risking? Cold tires, taking a turn with cold tires, the reward is just not worth the risk. Now people might say that about motorcycling in general, and I would disagree, obviously. That's why I ride. Obviously there is risk when you ride a bike, but there's major payoff. It's sort of like gymnastics, right? If you're watching gymnastics, these people, these guys and girls, are taking big risks. I mean, physical injury and all that stuff. But obviously the reward is pretty humongous. Nice job, trucks, side by side, moving roadblock. I have a feeling people think I'm a cop with the black leather and the white helmet, but that's not my intent. The white helmet just happens to be my riding helmet for my new suit. Just because it's a NASA EVA suit. But when I'm doing a quick and dirty run, I wear my very comfortable suit, the black one, which has been crashed. So, it's just more comfortable. Yeah, road debris, I always keep an eye out for road debris. Something you get used to riding in California, because there's so much crap on the road, especially on the 405. I don't know what it is. I think it's just the amount of traffic it gets. And so people have gotten more crap from their trucks or retreads from trucks, whatever it is. I guess you have littering too, even though I think it's just mostly incidentals. Yep, so this is the 14 freeway. 14 statutorial. That song that you just heard me sing, sort of, was on the worst of mp3.com. Remember that mp3.com that was popular around 1999? And that's where I made my first musical debut. Since I do music as well. But that song was so funny. Actually, the original song was 14 and illegal. And then it was just so badly sung, but it was hilarious too, so I loved it. I used to listen to all kinds of Jesus music too, and I'm an atheist, so obviously I was listening for the humorous effect, and it was funny. So yeah, 14 and illegal. And then someone wrote a song called 14 statutorial. And that's kind of how they sing it, so anytime my girlfriend gets a 14 in Words with Friends, it's like 14 statutorial. Naturally, we sing the follow-up. What else? So yeah, riding is good. Some risk to it, obviously. But you know, if it wasn't risky, everyone would do it. And actually, I don't have a problem with other people riding. I think it's a great ride. It's not something I want to push anyone into. You know, it's something that you just really need to want to do because of the risk. I'd feel bad if I pushed someone into it and, you know, they kill themselves or something, or got seriously injured. So, I'm always willing to talk to new riders and coach them, but I would never want to push anyone. If you want to ride, great. If you don't, great. I'm crawling because I can't really see with that sun in my eyeballs. So hopefully this view is good. Basically, I'm inching down the camera. Well, I'm millimetering down the camera every time I ride. because at first, when I first got the GoPro, I just had the regular old J hook mount, and you know, it wouldn't lift up very much because I ran out of room. So you mostly saw the bike. With this helmet mount, I can lift it up as high as I want, pretty much. And I realized that all the way is too much. So it was kind of cool when I first shot the video to see the bike and the mirrors and my hands. And everything. So now, why is that guy stopped? Oh, because he's a fucking idiot. He saw an ambulance with no lights on and figured, I better stop. Speaking of ambulances, it's funny when people like stop dead in their tracks, like, ready for my anal probe, sir. Like, what are you doing? If you see sirens and lights in your mirrors behind you, pull over immediately. And if they're in front of you, well, you can follow them, I guess. Just don't follow too closely. I think it's illegal to be within like 300 feet or something if the lights and sirens are on. And but don't stop. Don't just stop like a doofus. I mean, what is to do? Yeah, I saw this one person stop, and you know, the ambulance had to figure out a way around her. And you know, what good is that? All you're doing is creating a slalom course. The same goes for faster traffic, like that truck that wants to get around me. I yield, you know, let him go. Young kid driving with his wrist. You can tell by the way the truck looks. You can profile people by their vehicles, which I do a lot. And of course cops do it. Nothing new. So there's a lot you can tell about someone by their vehicle. Like, is it stock, first of all? That's the first question. How do they drive? Are they tailgating? Rims? Is it lowered? There's always exceptions, but you can get a general read sometimes. Is it beige? I mean, who buys a beige vehicle? Boring people. Or women. I gotta stop cursing in these videos. You know why? Because then my little nieceys won't be able to see it. Well, I guess they could see it, but I want to make it kid friendly. Ooh, CRX. Yay, I like those. Those are cute. It's funny when you pass a bike who's not splitting. There's a donut. I'm eating a donut. I don't think I would ever eat a donut and drive. It's just too messy. These are long lights. Try to keep up with me, right? And I said, no. Nein, nicht. Yet. Sometimes people can get a little heat off the line. It could just be normal acceleration. Maybe they're trying to get over on you. Maybe they think their car is faster than it is. Some people, you know, because we motorcyclists drive pretty calmly a lot of the time. People don't always know how fast motorcycles are, and maybe they don't know how fast their car is. We have the acceleration, but we're not always using that top speed. And I like to go kind of slow on certain streets these days. No reason to haul ass on a certain street. And there's like a ride mode that you get into, that I get into, where it's sort of a seasoned ride, where everything's settled and your tires are warm and your mind is in it. Then maybe you could dial it up just a little bit. But it's good to settle in. I guess settling in is the term I'm looking for, the phrase. Yeah, that Beamer was tailgating me earlier, but whatever. I don't think he liked me lane splitting, but get a bike, sucker! What's funny is when people are like super aggressive and then you get them at the light and you just go around them calmly. That's always quite beautiful. And you know, cops here love to get tickets, so I'm pretty chill. Oh, look at that Beamer. He's pissing me off a little bit, but I don't want to do anything illegal. A lot of like repair plates around here. My suspension is rather firmish from Race Tech, and not ideal when the road gets bumpy, but pretty good in the twisties. Probably needs to be tuned a little bit, but it's pretty darn good. I just need to experiment a little bit with the rebound. An interesting road. One thing Americans need to learn is lane discipline. And you know, some of them are pretty okay at it, but most of them freaking suck at it. I'm talking about yielding for faster traffic and using the correct lane for your speed. So, if you're going slow, get the F out of the fast lane. That's all I can say. I'm not totally sure where I am, but I know I'm not lost. But I don't usually ride on this part of the road wherever I am. San Fernando, like I recognize the name of the road. I just don't know where I'm going exactly. Bumpy spot. Those are the noises of angst. So it looks like I met another vlogger on YouTube who happens to be in the same industry that I'm in, which is video games. And it was totally coincidence because I realized that this guy was riding a similar road to me, or the same road I was riding. What is this? And turns out he works at a place that I contracted at, which I won't name. And he's a vlogger and all that good stuff. So we might do some dual vlogging together. His name is similar to mine too, his YouTube name. It's outer space something. So that's kind of cool. Morning. I gotta get off this freaking badass road. I mean, sucky road. Normally I would adjust for railroad tracks to go perpendicular, but they weren't sticking up too much. I figured I'd be okay. So this is 5 freeway. Good. The lighting's a little flat, so it's hard to see. So anyway, yeah, outer space dude and myself. We'll see. We might do a ride or a dual vlog, whatever that is. I suppose we might film each other. That could be cool. And do some cross promotion. Maybe get some better footage with the way we set up the cameras. Yeah, when you ride, you make noises, you know? When you stop, when you're working your body in some way to get the bike to do what you want, when you're turning, when you're unsure about a turn, if you have a close call, a stunning victory. What is that? No victories, there's no trophy girl, or no brawly girl. Just riding. Finally back to civilization. And I'm finally at an area where I think I know where I am. That was the most circuitous way to get back to this area that I've ever seen. You see your turn, okay? Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I want to take the 5 north. How far down did I go? Oh, okay, past the 14. pictures on the GSX-R are a little hard to see sometimes, but you can just pull in your elbows and it's all good. So I would have gotten a video camera earlier, but I was sort of waiting for the technology to mature, you know? I had a video camera, let's see, when was the last time? 1989, oh yeah. Giant honking VHS tape. That was fun. And then, I didn't have a video camera all the way till now, apart from like my iPhone video. But I was never too impressed with taking video on an iPhone. Even the iPhone 4S. It's okay. Too much of a pain to get the footage off. I don't know. It just never appealed to me. Of course, I wanted to use my camera on a bike, right? Because I've done so many rides. I've ridden in other countries. I've driven in other countries. Driven in Ireland, Dubai, Italy. And I've lived in a few states. Okay, California and Hawaii. But renting a bike everywhere you go is something I highly recommend. Like I mentioned, I rode in Dubai. I had an R6, rode an R6 there for a day, or a couple days actually. That was pretty cool. In Ireland, I was with my girlfriend, so I rented a car. But I got the tiniest car I could get. I got a Nissan Micra. And of course it was raining like hell, so I didn't want a bike anyway, especially with luggage and all that stuff. So a car was great. And a small car on those Irish back roads was a good decision. Because we sort of got an out of the way hotel, the Ritz-Carlton, and we got a deal on it. It's not like we were rich or anything. We just got a really good deal. But the thing is, it was way out of the way. Like, it wasn't in Dublin. You had to like drive 20 miles and up these hills with no street illumination. And then it was a freaking like World of Warcraft quest, just trying to find the gate and get in and get our quest. But what a great hotel. It was so fun driving in Ireland. Like, when you drive in another country, you immerse yourself in a way that you would never experience had you just taken the bus or taxi, because suddenly you're paying attention. You have to know the traffic rules. The locals interact with you in a whole new way, and you still get to see the sights, but you can stop when you want, go as fast or slow as you want within reason, and it's good. Italy, had a different girlfriend there. I rented a rather large scooter, and she was game enough to get on the back. Of course, it's a scooter, so it's not too big of a deal to get on the back. And eventually she got comfortable with me driving. I know that's a hard thing to trust someone riding a two-wheel vehicle. I mean, that takes a lot of trust to be a passenger. But we did great. Even with the cobblestones and the rain and all that stuff. Crazy plazas. But what was funny is there was this two-wheel culture in Italy that I just never experienced. I mean, everyone from these cosmopolitan girls sitting side saddle, all cute and dainty in their designer clothing, to, you know, normal people going to work, and just everybody. All manner of scooter, different brands. Now this was around 1995 or 96, during the scooter dark ages in America, right? Because we had a scooter boom in the 80s. And then scooters went out of fashion, right? When scooters went out of fashion, you didn't really have many scooters to choose from. You certainly didn't have many freeway legal scooters to choose from. I gotta get over. So it was really nice seeing like this all these brands of scooters in Italy. And I picked a nice 125 and we were off. Now the great thing about a scooter is you're open, I mean, you smell everything, you see everything, you can park easily, petrol is cheap. And when you get to where you're going, you're not freaking tired and sweaty and annoyed, right? You're happy, you got there easily, you got there quickly. You don't have to use the bathroom the minute you set foot in there because you didn't walk all over the town. Now walking is great, but your visual processing is much faster than you can actually walk. So it's very easy to see the sights and be on a scooter still. Walking, I mean, you see everything in about 2 minutes. And then you're still walking. You still got the same basic scene, apart from very minute angle changes. So a scooter is not going to mess up your sightseeing. And you definitely don't want to be part of a tour group. Maybe you do, but I don't. F that noise. Because, you know, then you got, well, you're as slow as the slowest person. If someone gets lost, you gotta wait around. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff. I just don't like herds. I don't want to be part of any kind of herd ever. I'm independent. It's a tiny little car. So forget the groups. Plus, you know, maybe I want to stay somewhere for 2 hours instead of 10 minutes. Maybe I want to get a hotel in this new area that I like and really explore. So if you're game enough to rent a vehicle in any country you visit, do it and you will be happy. Plus you can get a little lost. I mean, when I was in Ireland, we got lost. I mean, and we drove to like the highest pub in Ireland. That was pretty cool. We just went where we wanted to go. Want to go to the town? Sure, let's nip down there. Where else? I was in Österreich, Austria, for a little bit, but I didn't get to drive there. Plus it was snowing. And what am I going to do? Drive a snowmobile? I got chased by a goose. That thing was freaking huge. Huge ass, bro! I mean, you don't know how big a goose is until you see a goose chasing you. Or was it a swan? Might have been a male swan. I'm not a birdologist. I know there's a better name for that. So Austria was fun. I drove in Mexico. If you're a Californian, almost everyone's driven in Mexico. You take your life in your hands, but you learn. If you're observant, you'll live. And if you're even more observant, you can get out of a ticket with a few bucks, unofficially. Don't quote me on it. Not that anyone quotes anyone on this stuff. Joe Schmidt from Montana shit. But yeah, I mean, I had to do that once. I drove a Hyundai down to Mexico before Hyundais were even popular anywhere. And I stood out like a sore thumb. This is before they were being made in Mexico, as far as I know. They were still fresh from Korea. Couldn't really see in that corner. So yeah. Alright, hope you enjoyed my rambling and my mic test. That was another vlog. Over and out, YouTube.